NLP Communication Model is usually referred to as a model that explains how we respond to our external stimuli. If it is a model about how we respond to external stimuli, why it is called a communication model? And who created this model anyway? And what the creators of the model say it is? So I know you have learned NLP Communication Model in your NLP Practitioner class. And you might have learnt about it in one of the two ways. You either have learnt about it as a model of communication between yourself and others, which is not false, because all NLP is about communicating with yourself and others. So NLP Communication Model clearly would explain some aspects of your communication between yourself and others. Or you would have learned it as a model that explains how you respond to external stimuli, which is much more accurate description of what NLP Communication Model is. But if it is a model about how we respond to external stimuli, why it is not called NLP Model of Stimulus Response? Why it is called the NLP Model of Communication? If it is NLP Model of Communication, with whom or with what are we communicating? So this is the bit of NLP that I want to explain, that I believe that was not explained to you in your NLP Practitioner certification. NLP Communication Model is always credited to Richard Bandler and John Grinder, but it is not in their foundational work on NLP, The Structure of Magic Volume 1 and 2, that was published in 1975. As far as I can tell, this appears first in somebody else's book that is also in the introduction section. The book is The Timeline Therapy and the Basis of Personality by Ted James and Wyatt Woodsmall. To understand this model, we will have to look at this introduction section, so I will read it out to you. So this is the introduction section that is in the page 3 of the book that I have. By the way, this paragraph refers to 3 models. The model that we are calling the basis of personality is based on another earlier model. So the writers of this book, Ted James and Wyatt Woodsmall, wants to introduce us to a model called basis of personality. And this basis of personality is based on an earlier model, which is one of how we communicate with ourselves and others. This model is essentially a model from cognitive psychology and was developed by Richard Bandler and John Grinder. It is called neuro-linguistic programming. The older model they refer to is actually NLP. They refer to NLP as a model, and they refer to NLP as a model of communicating with ourselves and others. So they want to talk about a model called basis of personality that is based on an earlier model called NLP, that is a modeling of how we communicate with ourselves and others. So what is the third model? And it explains how we process the information that come into us from the world around us. So there are 3 models: the basis of personality model, NLP model, and the model within an NLP that explains how we process information that comes into us from world around us. So there are 3 models. So the last model is the model that we usually call NLP Communication Model, that talks about 5 senses, how that get deleted, distorted and generalized, and that gives rise to internal state, internal representation, physiology, eventually leading to your behavioral response. But however, it's very important they drew this diagram in the process of explaining basis of personality. So what is basis of personality? So basis of personality, as far as they believe, is a major discovery. Our model seems to be a major discovery. So I'm reading a paragraph above what I just read. This is a discovery for which psychologists from Freud and Jung to Isabel Briggs Myers have been searching. So Isabel Briggs Myers is the creators of Myers-Briggs type indicator. So they are very proud of what they have created. This model has the potential to change human understanding of all time to come. For we now understand and can change the basic elements that can make up a person's personality. And they go on to say, we now know the basis of personality and how to change it. So the diagram that we are looking at explains 2 things. One, it explains how we as humans take in a stimulus and respond to that as a behavior It also going to explain the basis of our personality and how to change that. It is going to explain to us how we change, how we can change the way we respond to our stimulus, and how we can have a different behavior. This is not a descriptive model. This is a prescriptive model. This model explains how we can change. And I'm sure if you are an NLP practitioner, you already know how to change beliefs. You might know how to change values. You might know how to change meta programs. That technology exists, whether you learned it or not, I don't know. But there is NLP that teaches how to change meta programs. You may not have learned meta programs in your practitioner certification, so there's that. There are ways to change memories, and I hope you have learned that. There are ways to change your vows, your decisions. So there's NLP to do that. There's NLP to change your internal representation of what is going on now, or what is going in your mind. There is NLP to change your emotional state. There's NLP to change your physiology. And when you change those, your response is going to change. So this model, obviously it's a model that explains how our behavior comes through, but more importantly, it's a model that explains how we change. This is a model of communicating with our unconscious mind. That's why it's an NLP Communication Model. I hope you learned something. I'm GamakaShri. I'm Chief Trainer and Coach at Mind Designs International. If you want to join our NLP Practitioner Certification Training, connect with me. I'll share the details with you. If you want to transform your life, and if you want to go through NLP based coaching to get better results from your life, connect with me. Let's explore how we can help you. Take care of yourself. Jai Shri.